So, two top BBC executives resigning as President Trump threatens a lawsuit over a documentary that he says misrepresented his remarks on January 6th. The BBC's version featured some of the president's remarks out of context, omitted references he made to, quote, march to the building peacefully and patriotically.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Yeah, that's important. The president said, quote, to fight like hell. Yeah, it was actually from a different portion of his remarks referencing election integrity. It's not even up for debate. Let's bring in editor-at-large of The Sun, Harry Cole. Harry, you wrote an editorial of what you did if you took over. But when you heard about this edit and you heard about the firing of two people who resigned or got kicked out, I imagine you weren't surprised.
It was the most remarkably brazen piece of editing. It wasn't as if they just, shortened one little quote in order to fit it into the documentary. They took two very distinctive half sentences, 40 minutes apart, and spliced them together in what could only be the most aggressive way to try and annoy Donald Trump. I mean, January 6th is a real bruise for him already. Then to sort of punch that bruise so nakedly on the eve of an election as a foreign media outlet, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're reaping what they sow. And from what I hear, they're preparing for one almighty grovel ahead of Friday's 5 o'clock deadline for legal action.
As you know, the president's had a lot of success going back at our media companies, and he takes the money that he wins, he's putting it towards his library. He's suing you guys. He's suing the BBC, government-sponsored television. BBC came back and said this about the edit. We accept that the way the speech was edited did give the impression of a direct call for violent action. The BBC would like to apologize for that error of judgment. There is an increasing need for the public to be informed in a way that's impartial, truthful, and is based on evidence that they can trust. That is the sacred job of the BBC. That's what they say. But what is it like watching it every day? Do you think that they have that mantra to be fair and balanced?
No, I think they thought that Donald Trump wouldn't win. They were doing their utmost to stop that from happening by making this documentary on the eve of polls, and it's blown up in their faces. But this scandal, Donald Trump and that edit is the tip of the iceberg in a much wider scandal that is rocking the BBC. The BBC would quite like all the focus to be on the Trump thing, because it ignores the fact that in an independent report paid for by the BBC and then buried by the BBC for months, Michael Prescott, a former journalist who was brought in to look at standards across the BBC, found gross failings in their Arabic services, peddling Hamas propaganda day in, day out without checks. They've been wholesale taken over by the militant trans lobby, and they are pumping out we don't need to go through all the nonsense and garbage that we could come to expect, but it was taken as gospel. These were all in the same report. Right. The Trump stuff's getting the headlines, but actually the rot goes far, far deeper than that.
So, Harry, here's the thing. If Israel looks around, and they haven't been perfect, but they look around after October 7th, they take action. They wonder, why is their integrity, why is their profile dropping? It's because there's a collusion among these networks to do the same thing, whether it's protests on the campuses blaming Israel or in New York City, or it's networks like and corporations like the BBC making sure the Palestinians look like the victims here, not the Israelis.
Absolutely, and it's victim blaming, essentially. It's taking the gospel of the so-called, Gaza-run health ministry, the Hamas health ministry, as if they can do no wrong and anything they say is true without verifying it, yet everything that Israel say is greeted with a much heftier dose of skepticism or even just ignored. Now, I don't think this is it's tricky. Your gut instinct says this must be deliberate, or is it the fact that these organizations are staffed with younger, liberal people who genuinely cannot see this bias. And that's, I think, the problem the BBC has, is that at the moment, the people at the top have been trying to call some of this out. People have been saying there's something deeply wrong here. And the reaction from the BBC staff is to hound out anyone who's vaguely conservative from the organisation, proving their liberal bias by sort of going on this witch hunt on anyone that calls them out for it. It's almost Kafkaesque, and they're in a doom loop if they can't get a grip on this soon. And crucially, as you mentioned there, it isn't an ordinary media organisation. When Donald Trump sues the BBC, he's suing licence fee payers. You go to prison, you are threatened with a criminal sanction if you continually refuse to pay your TV tax in the UK. And so that money won't be coming from a corporation, it won't be coming from shareholders, it'll be coming from British people. And that's why this row is so toxic, because it gets into the diplomacy of the special relationship in Britain, because it's hardworking Brits that are going to have to pay the price for this one.
Harry, and you were an editorial of what you would do if you took over. It's definitely worth reading, worth reading your columns. Thanks so much for making it so black and white. We truly appreciate it. You have a generation got trained by these people, now work for the BBC. Thanks so much. Thanks, Harry.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.